Hello, everyone, and welcome to Business Supercharged 2018. You know me, I'm Joseph, and I am excited to be along for the ride with you this year. It's going to be a great year. I am pleased to have you on board. This is a very exclusive community, and I say that to you because we turned down people who wanted to participate for a number of reasons. One of which is we wanted to be small. We wanted to make this intimate. We wanted to give you the attention that we think you deserve. Important to me is that I need to make sure I can manage my bandwidth of time, and I didn't want to overextend myself, and I didn't want to underdeliver. So we've tried to manage this for those purposes. Because it's small, your participation in groups are going to be really helpful to your peers. We understand there are going to be times you can't make it to some of those group activities, and that's fine. We'll obviously have them archived for your review, but as much as possible, we encourage you to participate for your own benefit, but also as part of the community here. I also today want to just use this installment to make sure that we've got some of the basics of what's going to happen this year under our belt. And in addition to that, I want to make sure that you get to know quite a bit about your group coach and a little bit about other members on my team, since they're going to be providing service to you in a variety of different ways. So let's start by introducing you to Carl Qualls. Carl will introduce himself, I'm sure, in the course of calls with you in the group activities, but I wanted to make sure that he got the proper introduction from my vantage point. Carl is one of the nicest people I know, so I guarantee you that he will be kind and very compassionate and very supportive of you over the course of this year. But from a business perspective, Carl's pretty sharp as well. He started with a little lawn mowing business when he was 12, and by 15, he'd been hired on working part-time at an auto parts and retail store. He was promoted there by age 17, and he was actually supervising 6 full-time employees when he was 17 at that parts store, all of whom obviously were older than himself. He remained there until he was 21. Then he got hired on at a manufacturing plant, General Motors Truck and Bus, where he quickly moved up to a position of quality analyst. And in that role, he participated in the rollout of their statistical process control program. And so he has a real understanding of quality process management. He helped facilitate that plant's first set of focus groups to listen to better understand ways to improve product quality ratings. 4 years later, he joined Northwest Louisiana's first Japanese luxury automotive dealership as their parts and service director. And here's where he really starts getting into some strong sales performance. In that position, he grew annual sales for that dealership from $600,000 to $3.2 million in just over 2.5 years. His department also received a lot of national recognition for improving their customer satisfaction index ratings. He was also awarded Employee of the Year at that dealership. He helped build and open 2 new dealerships for that dealer principal. And over the past 20 years, he's really been running his own businesses. So like you, he's an entrepreneur. And his entrepreneurial pursuits have been in 4 core business areas. So he's run a retail men's tie business. He's run a residential and commercial cleaning service. He's run a window washing business. And his current company sells medical imaging equipment to physicians and imaging centers and hospitals. Now let's look at his current business, because it's kind of a tale of what's possible, right? He started this business, he had no customers. And he turned it profitable in the first year, which is pretty impressive. By year 2, he had doubled sales revenue. In year 3, he had tripled sales revenues year over year. So clearly, this is a great story, I think, of somebody who can help you do the right things, focus on all of the elements necessary to be successful in business. His business maintains healthy growth to this day. Almost 10 years later, he's got prospects who've turned into lifelong customers and friends. And he runs his business with a guaranteed satisfaction, customer-driven model, and he really works from the standpoint of being a relationship consultant, and his consultative selling approach is something I'm sure you'll get into in the course of your work with him. Carl is, if you look at his personality profiles on any number of the leadership metrics, he comes out as somebody who's very much people-focused with a passion for teaching and a key element of himself, which is an encourager. So hopefully all of that will manifest for you. He's been doing training in all kinds of different capacities: community college, continuing education for employees, for local university classes, you name it. And he mostly focuses on personal development, goal setting, relationship building, and sales improvement. If you look at some of the other certifications he carries with him, he is a Ziegler Legacy certified person, coach, I guess it would be, by the Ziglar Corporation. And he has been through Ziglar's sales training as well as sales training with Dale Carnegie. And he's completed courses from Kodak, Carestream, Konica Minolta, Canon, and many others. He holds a bachelor's degree from the Louisiana State University where he majored in psychology, and he is your coach. And I hope you will enjoy him. If you have, I'm available to talk about any of these things as you move forward, but I'm really excited about having Carl on board for you for that. So by now you should have received your orientation package, which includes information about scheduling times with me and the January schedule for group coaching. I wanted to let Carl and you work out any possible tweaks on that time. But for January, we did set some times. And when it came to looking at when you might schedule with me or when we would schedule those group activities, we really were trying to find windows of availability and times that looked at all of the locations of the participants in the group, and so that we could reach across all these time zones in the most gentle and respectful ways possible. But again, once you get past this first month, particularly with Carl, you guys can talk about the viability of that, if there's any minor tweaks that might take place. So your main point of contact at the Michelli Experience is Kelly Merkel. And Kelly's been on my team for a number of years. She holds a master's degree in counseling, and she works in all aspects of my business. She's been involved actively in corporate consulting, in my speaking business. She's done a lot of work with surveys that we conduct. She's very integrally involved in that. She does a lot of our SEO and our social. So she is a great resource, but mainly in your life, she is your go-to person for all questions about logistics. When is this supposed to happen? What am I supposed to do here? Da, 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 da. Kelly is the person to go to for that. That's her specialty area, and she'll manage that on a daily basis. And I speak to her every single day, and I am in weekly contact with her in staff meetings. So she's definitely has access to me. Other members of our team include Patty Michelli. Now that last name might sound a bit familiar. Patty oversees ops, and she has vast HR leadership experience with companies like Hyundai and Colonial Insurance. She's also functioned as a financial analyst for a major payroll and HR solutions company. Also, someone you'll interact with at times over the course of the year, I suspect, is Jessica Walsh, who's she's really kind of a go-to in all kinds of capacities for our team. But she holds a master's degree from Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine and a bachelor's degree in communications from the University of Georgia. She's also a specialist in sales and goal setting, and she's in her business past has had successful regional sales careers working for companies like Whirlpool and Coca-Cola. So Kelly will have the lead, facilitating the Facebook community, the day-to-day logistics, but she's going to be supported by Jessica, and at times Jessica will be pulled in to help us, particularly on areas of sales and areas of goal setting. The frequency of my posts here in this Facebook location is set for once a week. There may be times where I'll drop in more frequently. There'll be times maybe where I'll be on the road, international travel, something might get in the way. It might affect our ability to hit that week, but our goal is to hit at a cadence of about once per week. So as is the case with any Facebook community, it relies on your active participation, your posting, your reacting to posts, your engagement with others. So I really encourage you to take and make this place a part of your regular visits, your home, your conversations, your community, bouncing ideas and reacting to posts, for example. So Benjamin Franklin and Ralph Waldo Emerson and the U.S. author Horatio Alger have all been associated with this concept called a self-made man. And in their writings or in their theories, they believe that people can be self-made. That said, despite the wisdom of Ralph Waldo Emerson, or Benjamin Franklin for that matter, much research has shown that that is a myth. The self-made man or the self-made woman or the self-made person, to be politically correct, it just doesn't happen. We are all standing on the shoulders of giants. We are all part of a global community, the heart of which is networking. It is the ability to share ideas with one another and generate ideas and generate business opportunities. That is at the core of what makes most great people great. So I am encouraging you to not try to go it alone, not be a lone wolf, but to truly be involved in community and be a part of the networking, the encouragement, and the support. My expectation is that you will behave as active participants, I should say, assisting one another succeed and not simply focus exclusively on your own success. I'm here to focus on your success in terms of our individual meetings, but I want to make sure you do that. Couple of final housekeeping items. Payment equals access to this particular site. I just want to believe everybody's going to pay and everything's going to be fine. Some of you have already paid for the entire year. That's all good. For those of you who have made some payment arrangements, just realize that we will be availing you access to the calls and all of that, just contingent upon you staying current on your payment. And it's one of those topics I don't really like to talk too much about, but that's what it is. So here's what you're going to have next week when we actually get into content. I want to talk about, really, if you've not read the E-Myth by Michael Gerber, it's really going to be something I'm going to cull a few concepts out of, because he really talks about what does it take to be a great entrepreneur and what are some of the big mistakes entrepreneurs make. And so next week, I'd like to get into a little bit about the psychology of the difference between working for somebody's business, letting the business work for you, and working in your own business. So we're going to get into that. We're going to kind of take a concept that Gerber calls the entrepreneurial seizure. We're going to see if you've had that, and if you've gotten past your entrepreneurial seizure rather. And we're going to look at the multiple roles it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Whether you have employees or you don't have employees, there's kind of many hats that you have to take on to be an entrepreneur. And many people fail to develop those unique skills to make business success happen beyond their unique gifts and talents as technicians within their business. So that's week 2. That's what we're going to talk about next week. In the meantime, I am so excited to have you. If I didn't say that already, I want to welcome you one more time to Business Supercharged 2018. Thank you for the trust placed in me. I take it seriously. Let's have an incredibly great year. Look forward to your comments with regard to this post, and look forward to you getting plugged in to the group activities and us getting together to get started in earnest with individual coaching this year. Have a great week. Thanks for being here.